Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another edition of Beyond the Curtain Wrestling Podcast, where we are recapping AEW Dynamite. Apologize for the technical difficulties in getting this episode up and running. Had a little bit of internet problems here in the last couple of days, but we have finally got back up and running. So this was the first time you guys are watching this or listening to this on our YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys stopping on by, checking us out. As you can see, our friend in the background is still here. BtheC the Cow making another appearance. You always gotta love BtheC. She might get her own t-shirts. You never know. Speaking of t-shirts, I know you're wanting wrestling one here. I'm representing the Kannapolis Cannonballers, the newly named team in the MILB. Check them out. They got some cool gear, and they're a cool team. And we're only 5 minutes away from their stadium, which is great. Anyways, so before we get started, first of all, guest as always, host of Takin the Bump podcast, Jimmy Jam, James Beatley, sir. How the hell you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's good to be podcasting about AEW, man. I love it.
As do I, and I appreciate you, of course, coming by each and every week, and for you guys tuning in each and every week to our recap episodes. I think this is episode number 7 we've got going on here. I mean, this is crazy how time flies by. But before we dive on into Dynamite, got to take care of a little bit of business. So on our last episode, you guys may have heard about one of the members of the Outlaw Wrestling Network who, had a little bit of a fallout on social media, shall we say. Of course, we're talking about host of the Unhinged Wrestling Podcast, Randall Beatley. And then we had a video that we posted on the channel. Actually, it was on your channel, what's it?
My channel, yes,
on
sir.
His YouTube channel at Takin the Bump Podcast, of Randall being involuntarily forced to take sensitivity training class for his actions that he did on social media. Now, what I have been told is that they are allowing him, as methods of training to get through the course, that he's allowed to do social media. Allowed to post some couple things. So if you guys have been following the story at all, and you've been seeing him post a little bit on Twitter, they're still allowing him to do it as a way to see if he's learned anything while being in this class. So we may post his progress. So if you guys are subscribed to my channel here on YouTube, or if you're subscribed to James's podcast channel on YouTube at Takin the Bump Podcast, or just follow us on social media, because we provide updates on Randall's progress as it happens. Hopefully he does get the help he needs, because he basically broke the internet for about a day or so. So we do apologize for that yet again.
And if you did see the Outlaw Wrestling Network posted a couple days ago, he fell asleep during training. And I know due to the whole COVID situation, a lot of the teaching is now virtual. But come on, man, you can't fall asleep.
Just what we need is a man falling asleep in class. That doesn't represent a good example for the youngins who are still learning whether they're online or not. So maybe we'll give a progress on his report in the next couple of days or so. So be sure to stay tuned and follow all of our social media platforms as we get updates as they come. Now, with that being said, let's get down to business.
Yes, sir.
So we have got the review and the recap from Dynamite that took place on the 20th of May, this past Wednesday. The go-home show for Double or Nothing. Yes, AEW is still having a pay-per-view with or without fans. It was supposed to be in Las Vegas at the MGM Garden Arena, but now, of course, due to COVID-19, they're no longer having it there, and they're having it at Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. Of course, owned by the Khans, so it's great to be in a place in a setting like that your boss owns, so you've got a great place to tape and record and do things with the product, so it's good. Kudos for them. But so on this go-home edition, we start off with a good video package to start the show, kind of recapping the events that has led to this week with a go-home show, what's going to be appearing on the show. And then the Inner Circle shows up in a limo. We don't get very many limo shots in AEW, so this was an interesting little limo shot of the Inner Circle coming out in the limousine, saying they're ready to kick the Elliott's ass, and basically they're ready for Double or Nothing in the Stadium Stampede match. So that's how they started the show. Any thoughts on the opening of the show before we get into the action?
I mean, I think it just proves the point that I think everybody's trying to, or the AEW is trying to make, that every ounce of what you see either on Dynamite or Dark or Road 2 or any content that you get on YouTube or social media, it means something, because they were able, without Jericho or really anybody in that inner circle group having a match in this card for Dynamite, they were able to progress the story with this opening segment and then what we saw at the end of the show as well. And we'll get to that point at the end of this podcast. But I love how they're able to tell us, continue a story without really emphasizing a lot of in-ring work, because they've been telling this elite inner circle story for a while now. And if every week had a match between them, it would kind of get
stale,
boring. It would be WWE light. Which is what you see with a lot of these feuds you get every single week. And I think my biggest point would be for 3 weeks straight or 3 months straight, Baron Corbin fought Roman Reigns for every single Friday, and it got boring. But to be able to throw a fresh twist on the feud without really having the elite fight the inner circle every week, and they might have members of each group fight, but we're not seeing the same two people fight every week. So I think they progressed the story before really getting into any deep matches, and they do good matches in the ring, but they're also able outside of the ring to tell a good story as well. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing about this company that has been great, is that even if they, their pay-per-views are every 3 or 4 months, you're building your feud maybe a month into the fallout of the previous pay-per-view. So you're giving about a good month and a half, maybe 2 months for that feud, and they still somehow make it fresh. And that's what's exciting about it. And, even though we've seen plenty of elite versus inner circle matchups, you haven't seen these guys go at it team for team.
Right.
So this is going to be the first time we're getting that, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens in general. Of course, we'll get to the very end of the show where they kind of do a nice little mosh going on there, but we'll get into that at the very end. Opening up the show, we got Preston Vance, a.k.a. 10 of the Dark Order, versus Jon Moxley in a non-title match, of course. Brody Lee came out with the Dark Order, had a nice opening promo there. They're letting him talk, something WWE did not do with the Luke Harper character. And not that we're trying to bash on WWE or anything like that, but you have to at least show that
right.
I understand with his position in the Wyatt family, maybe he wasn't going to be a talker, and I get that, but at the same time, once you see this guy do what he does, why didn't they give him the chance?
Right.
So Brody talks great on the mic. Good showing from 10. He's actually on my AEW fantasy team because, well, I had Stu Grayson, and he wasn't even wrestling for months at a time, so 10 was. So I was like, you know what? Let's pick up 10. And 10 was showing pretty good until Moxley hit the paradigm shift, a massive one. He got the 1-2-3. Wasn't expecting a 10 to win. Good showing from Moxley going into the match. It's almost as if he's the challenger because Brody Lee did steal the title and he's in possession of it. After the match, Mox calls out Brody, and Brody basically leaves 10 to be a sacrifice and says they're leaving, takes the belt with him, says we'll see him on Saturday night, and then Mox basically destroyed 10's arm. So I'm back to the drawing board with needing to probably pick somebody up for my fantasy team. We're not doing well so far, guys. We are not. It started out so well, and now it's like WCW.
I'm on the opposite spectrum of you in that league, man.
Yeah, WWF. Started out horrible, now you're just kicking my ass. I started out great, sinking like the Titanic here. What'd you think of the opening match of Dynamite this past week?
I thought it was really good because, yes, we saw 10 lose, but we saw the potential that Preston Vance has. And I can see, and I think I put on the live tweet that I do, that at some point when Preston Vance leaves the Dark Order, because eventually, down the line that'll happen. I can see him as a singles champion. He has a really good move set, and I think he can show a lot. And so I think this is a good way to get him recognition, because I don't know if he is well known within the independent wrestling circle. I haven't heard of him until he signed with AEW. But I think he had a good showing, and the fact that he was able to compete with Moxley, it wasn't a squash match. It actually went longer than I anticipated the match to go. And he actually got a lot of offense in. So it showed that he was capable, while at the same time giving Moxley the momentum needed, because like you said, he kind of is viewed as the challenger, because Brody has his title and now Mox is fighting to get the title back. Well, technically he's still the champion. Possession's 9/10 of the law. So who's really the champion? And I think it progressed that story the way it needed to. Mox gets the win. I loved Moxley's promo afterwards, where he basically said, either you come and give me my stuff, or I'm going to break your prodigy's arm. And he did. He broke his arm, or at least it looked like he did. So I'm sorry that you picked your boy up. I mean, you can always get like Alan Angels or something. He's a free agent.
At least he loses on Dark every week, and at least I'm getting points for that.
Right.
Yes, I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, get to the next match. We've got MJF versus Marco Stunt. I believe this was MJF's in-ring return for a couple months after being away in New York dealing with COVID. And of course, he's going to be facing somebody in Jurassic Express, since he's facing Jungle Boy this Saturday at Double or Nothing. But they didn't get him Luchasaurus. Nope, they gave him the smallest guy on the roster, Marco Stunt, which you show me a picture of his twin sister. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've not seen a side-by-side photo of Marco Stunt and his twin sister, you can't tell them apart. If it's Marco, Marcy, whatever her name is, they look the same.
Mm-hmm.
Be a great stunt double if they brought her in. Anyways, basically MJF dominates the match, makes Marco tap with the Fujiwara armbar, gets a win. It's good to see a submission instead of a pin every now and then. So, yeah. I don't know where to go from that.
I think it pushes the fact that MJF is going to be viewed as a dominant heel. I like how he is using that, what do you call it, the Fujiwara armbar or whatever?
Fujiwara armbar.
Sorry, and I'm going to offend my girl Deonna Purrazzo, because she uses that move all the time, and I just butchered the...
Shame.
I still love
her
you.
8x10s too? Jesus, what kind of fan are you?
Yeah, I like that he's going with kind of an old school approach, and you can see that he actually studies 80s, early 90s wrestling in his moveset, and that's what he wants to show. And he just has that like natural heel heat. He brutalized Marco Stunt in this with like the past 3 weeks or so with Marco Stunt. How is he still alive? Like the dude.
I that's one thing that I don't like, that I wish AEW would do, is that Marco's getting killed. You gotta make the man sell some injuries. I remember, Mikey Whipwreck in ECW was basically the throw toy, the chew toy that would get thrown around and would sell the injuries and come out every other week with like a mummy thing wrapped around his head or around his ribs, his wrist, whatever. And then the most recent one that I can really remember was Colin Delaney in the new ECW and WWE in 06, 07 or something like that. He would get killed every week from Big Show or Kane, whoever was on ECW, And next week would show up fighting, kind of scared, but, he would show up and he would be wrapped around from head to toe in bandages, but he still went out there and fought. And it's like, okay, Marco's getting the same treatment, just getting thrown around like a rag doll. So make him sell the injuries, man. Let him get these bandages and wraps around him and show the scars, that he's dealt with. But he can have the courage and the fight and the will to want to come back the next week and do whatever, but sell it, man. Mm-hmm. I can't believe that you get thrown in a guardrail, get thrown in a barricade, you get thrown around the ring all over the place and nothing.
Right.
Nothing to show for that, and I don't know. I just don't enjoy that, but that's what I think about that.
Yeah, I can see that point, and I feel like if it's kind of one of those things where like they're trying to push it as a sporting league, and yeah, he is getting his ass kicked every single week. So you would like to kind of see the attempt at making it as realistic as possible, but I mean, I don't know if it's part of like Marco's storyline of like he's just gonna fight. And Marco he's a decent wrestler. I don't know if you've ever watched his match with a man that you don't really like. He goes by the name of Brian Alvarez. He fought Marco's stunt once, and it was
Brian Alvarez.
Yeah, Brian Alvarez.
Marco's stunt kicked his ass.
I know Brian Alvarez won.
Jesus. even pushed himself over.
And actually quite entertaining, to be honest with you.
More entertaining, Brian Alvarez. He had his ass kicked.
But yeah, no, I like to see MJF book strong, just to see the face. That's what you need to do for your heels, is you got to push them, make them look super strong. That way, when he eventually loses to one of your baby faces, it forces the baby face to get over.
Right.
And so I think that's the thing that AEW has focused on better than, and I'm not just going to say better than WWE, better than basically any wrestling company still on TV today. That's Impact, Ring of Honor, if they're still on TV, MLW, NWA. I don't know if they're doing tapings anymore. I don't know if NWA is even still a thing anymore. But AEW has that focus on getting heels as much heat as possible. That way you can get the baby face over. And I like that they have that distinguishing feature of heels and face, because it seems like sometimes with wrestling in general now, you don't know who the face is and who the heel is. They change so often that you don't know what's what. And I like that they're building MJF to be like this old school, I'm going to talk trash and I don't care what I say, like, kind of guy. I love it. And who knows? When he comes out against Jungle Boy on Saturday, who knows what happens.
True. And then something, of course, we will see this upcoming Saturday on pay-per-view is Jungle Boy of Jurassic Express versus MJF in a just one-on-one match. So it'll be interesting to see that. With this whole COVID pandemic, what may have been storylines, kind of got switched around and whatnot. So it's interesting what we've got as a card, and we'll go over that here later on. But next up, we got Arn Anderson and Jake Roberts in a pretty decent, good battle from a face-to-face thing, if you want to call it that. At their ages, it's great to see that not only are they being, on national television. And I even think I saw a thing, I don't remember who posted it, but somebody had tweeted that their screenshot a text message that had a picture of Arn and Jake, face to face across each other from the table, which they're doing better social distancing than us. We're not even 6 inches away from each other. Somebody tweeted a photo of them two and said, "This makes me have faith that everything's gonna be okay, or that everything is okay." Right. And that's great to see that, in the midst of this pandemic, that we've got these two older guys who are probably in the at-risk category with their age, still going out there, entertaining, performing for us. And, of course they're older and they're going to be a little bit more bouncing around a little bit.
Right.
But I thought they did a good job, and I kind of, put everything I was doing down and just kind of stared at the TV a little bit harder because I was like, I want to see this. This is going to be good.
Right.
And it got good. It got personal, but it got good. They were threatening to beat each other up, which, tendency to do. But, it was good to see that. And, of course, Arn will be in Kody's corner this upcoming Sunday. And Jake will be in Archer's corner for the inaugural TNT Championship match. So, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a really, really, really good job from both of them. And a good way to set up for what's going to happen Saturday night, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I agree. A couple things I took off of that was if you go back a couple weeks ago when Jake put the snake on Brandy, and you noticed how Jake basically dry humped her several times. And I thought originally that was just like a mistake. But no, I think that was planned because Jake mentioned it. He said something, I can't quite remember exactly what he said. They kind of mentioned that was kind of on purpose. And that the fact that these two people, so for the newer demographic, they probably don't really understand the significance of Jake the Snake and Arn Anderson, what their significance to wrestling is. But for people, who grew up with 80s wrestling, WCW, early 90s, late 90s, WWE, WWF, these were two of the most phenomenal people in the entire business. And the fact that they're still going, and the fact that they really, I don't think they ever did a one-on-one match together.
Yeah, they never brought that up in the program. Yeah. They never battled one-on-one.
So the fact that they're face-to-face at their age and still ready to beat each other up, I mean, it brought you back to what I would consider the good old days of wrestling. And kind of made you wish that you could have saw that match. And obviously now, due to their age, we probably won't ever get a full match with Jake the Snake versus Arn. But, the fact that, one, Jake is still as good as he ever has been on the mic. And two, Arn Anderson still wants to put people in the spine buster. I love it. And the fact that, again, they're progressing the story without using Archer, without using Kody. So that when they meet up face to face on Saturday, it's fresh. It's not like, oh, well, Archer beat the shit out of Kody on Wednesday, so he's going to beat the shit out of him tonight, right? So now it's fresh. And you haven't seen them really touch each other that much.
They had that brawl 2 weeks ago, but that's
right.
Mainly been the biggest point of contact is that, and they. Yeah, like you said, I mean, that's really one of the only things they've had contact-wise between each other, so...
right.
I like that.
And so, again, it's fresh, it's new, it's not like it's a watered-down storyline that you've gotten 30 times prior on free television. This is going to be a bloodbath of a match. And I can't remember, obviously... Since it's a title match, somebody has to win and to win the title. So I don't know if it's a no DQ match or if it's just a normal singles match. But it's going to be a bloodbath regardless. I have a feeling you'll see Jake and Arn maybe getting a little scuffle on the side there. Maybe Brandy does something to Jake to get her revenge. Because I do believe Brandy would be down in Kody's corner as well. But this is a match that, as much as we've been talking about, it could have been pushed out. For what they were able to do promo-wise to promote this match, I'm still as excited as I ever could be for this match. And I'm not dissing the match. I wish it would have been pushed out or told a little bit a longer story than this initial thing. But for what we were given. And again, we don't know if this was like originally in the cards or on the run. We have to make a card for due to COVID situation. But I'm excited. I'm ecstatic for this. And part of me wants to see Kody win because I don't think he's won a major match in the company ever. Outside of like his Shawn Spears match at All Out last September, I believe it was. But he lost to Jericho in the title match. If he loses to Archer, another title opportunity gets squashed. And what happens there? Like, this is all Kody can fight for. He can't fight for the big title anymore. So, I mean, it's good story, good development. I love it. And just to be able to use the two managers to continue the storyline, gosh, it was great. It was good. And it brought back the memories of when Jake and Arn were in their prime. So I loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. And getting those two managers, to continue the storyline is so different because you don't see that very much now, is where the managers kind of continue for themselves. So
outside of like maybe Paul Heyman.
Yeah, true. But yeah, it should be fun to see what happens on Saturday night between these two in the inaugural TNT Championship match. It's going to be fun. After that, we get a Pac promo. I haven't seen Pac in a little bit. Talks about the Death Triangle, says that, everybody's a marked men, marked people. It's going to be awesome to see that. We've seen Fenix start to come back every now and then, just like a phoenix rising from the ashes. You haven't seen him in a while. He's starting to come back. Haven't seen Pentagon around for a while, and haven't seen Pac live in person on Dynamite. So getting a promo like that was pretty fun to see. Hopefully him and Pentagon, the Death Triangle, can come back soon. We shall see. Speaking of Fenix, he's in the very next segment after that, which is a one-on-one match between him and Orange Cassidy. This was stemmed from the week prior where Orange Cassidy got the living hell kicked out of him. His soul left his body there for a moment. I saw it. I thought it was a pretty decent match, pretty solid match. Somehow or another, because both of these gentlemen are in the casino ladder battle royal match Saturday, that ladder gets brought out to ringside on the stage. Kip Sabian goes and sits on a ladder, causes a distraction to Orange Cassidy, which leads to Fenix winning. And then after that, just an absolutely flip melee after the match. I don't mean Flip Gordon. I just mean everybody did some flips. Off the top rope, off the top turnbuckle, whatever it was. Fenix basically did a front flip and pretty much landed on his back on the floor, even if it's padded. I mean, he was a nasty bump. He looked pretty. Hopefully, it was just the wind knocked out of him. Hopefully, nothing got torn or broken or anything like that. But that was not a good-looking bump at all. Interesting little segmented match there. I enjoyed it. Hopefully, everybody just comes out healthy enough so we can have a good match on Saturday for that Casino Battle Royal Ladder match, which the winner of that receives a future AEW World Championship match. So, a lot at stake here in that ladder match.
Right. Yeah, it was a solid match. Rey Fenix is one of the best high flyers in the world today. The way he's able to manipulate the ropes to his advantage is just, you don't see that anymore. He like creates his own moveset. I feel like stuff other people never has done before. He does it, and we didn't see that as much in this match. It was more of a I'm gonna beat the shit out of you type of match, and Orange Cassidy continues to prove my point I made a long time ago, that he is a fantastic wrestler if he gets the opportunity to wrestle. And yes, he lost this match, but you have to think his gimmick gives him some sort of like underdog advantage to win this ladder match on Sunday, or Saturday. Sorry, we expect pay-per-views on Sundays. But he's He's a phenomenal storyteller, a phenomenal performer, in a day and age where sometimes you have to like be an actor in professional wrestling, which I don't hate. In this instance, he does so well with his gimmick, and once he does that initial thing, his hands go in his pants, he does the duck and dodging and stuff. Once his hands come back out, he's ready to throw fists, and he almost got the win if it wasn't for super bad Kip Sabian and super bad Penelope Ford.
Still on my thing now, aren't you?
Getting that interference or distraction there, he may have won the match, and that's just awesome because I remember during this match watching it and like kind of semi-marking out that at his close calls, his almost threes.
You were fully marking out.
Because like everybody hates on him, but the dude he's entertaining and he's over for a reason. And I don't know, I just like Orange Cassidy, and
you have every right to like him. Not everybody agrees with you, and that's okay. But opinions are like a-holes. Everybody's got them. Mm-hmm. And especially in wrestling, we're the most diverse community in the world. We've got our favorite wrestlers. We like them. There's ones we love, ones we hate, ones that are indifferent, and that's what makes us great.
Yes.
What makes the wrestling community should be great. Yeah, after this, we get the women's tag team match that may have more of a consequence, and we'll get to that in just a second. Britt Baker and Nyla Rose, the women's champ, versus Kris Statlander and Hikaru Shida. Basically, this is a tag team match where opponents Sunday, the faces tag team up and the heels tag team up. You got Kris and Britt Sunday, or Saturday. Gosh. And you got Shida and Nyla Saturday as well. So the faces are teaming up against the heels. Yeah, pretty nice tag team match. I thought it was actually pretty decent.
Right.
All four women. Oh boy, I'm making a mess over here. All four women really got their moves in and got their spots in. I thought they did a good job with that. Nyla powerbombs Shida, which gets the win, which is interesting, considering the fact that these two are facing off on Saturdays. A little bit of a prelude that Nyla's going to win again, or usually sometimes it's the opposite, where
right,
if a champion gets a win and the challenger loses, they'll go home. Challenger wins on pay-per-view. We shall see. Barely in a spot in the match, Kris and Shida go to powerbomb Nyla, and Britt was in the corner. And I think they were going to powerbomb Nyla onto Britt. Basically powerbombed her on Britt's knee.
Yeah.
Didn't look good. Thought she was kind of selling pretty good, but also I was like, the way she's doing it doesn't look right. And turns out she had to leave. While after the match, Nyla powerbombed, or Shida powerbombed Nyla through the table, powerbomb or suplex, one of the two. Either way, Nyla went through a table from Shida. While that was happening, Britt was getting left in the back by doctors. I don't believe there's an official update, but a lot of people are speculating and rumors are circling that it's not looking good. She could have a torn ACL. Means that she could be out of action for a while, which I wonder how that's going to affect her dentistry. That's an everyday job for her, so I wonder what's going to happen there. But hopefully she's able to be okay and can wrestle Saturday. Hopefully all goes well. But we shall see what happens with that. As of now, the match is still on between Britt and Kris Statlander. Nyla versus Shida for the women's title. Taking place, of course, this Saturday. So hopefully everybody comes out okay. A couple people look like they really got hurt on this show. So they're putting their bodies on the line for us, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what we expect them to do. They are entertainers. They're here to entertain us. So putting their bodies on the line every night. Appreciate that. Overall, what you think of this semi-main event match?
This was a match that if you went through Twitter and as soon as they heard the Britt injury dilemma, they're like, oh, the women's division botching up again. I don't necessarily consider it a botch. It was just a wrong place at the wrong time, or Britt may have not been in correctly the right position to take the bump. Taking the bump, get it?
Just did there.
But it happens, and I don't want to call anybody unsafe unless you're Nia Jax, because she is unsafe.
Or Seth Rollins.
But he, the match was pretty decent. I'm not gonna. It's one of those things where it's like the women division impresses me, and then they have the next week they kind of leave it kind of a bland taste in my mouth. It's not like I hate it, but I expect so much from this division because I know the talent level of all the women in this division. AEW will not hire subpar wrestlers. They're going to get the best of the best. And it just, I don't know, maybe it's lack of time because there hasn't been a lot of women segments or a lot of time really on the shows devoted to women's wrestling, or and they don't do a lot of, or if any, house shows or live shows that are not Dynamite. So these women don't get a lot of wrestling time compared to WWE, which you have to say is the standard for women's division talent wise. And hopefully Britt's okay and can compete on Saturday. I need her for the fantasy points. But outside of that, it sucks because she does have another job outside of AEW. And it would suck that she wouldn't be able to compete or do her other job for time because of a mistake in the ring. And again, I don't want to say anybody's unsafe because it was just a mistake. It wasn't like Nyla Rose purposely landed on her knee. It was kind of, it happened, and it went by so fast. Like it was like, oh, Nyla Rose, her ass took up the entire screen. You didn't see her land on Britt, but then like Britt disappeared for the longest of time and was never seen again apparently. But it sucks because she is very talented, and I was starting to love her heel gimmick. So if she got injured and it kind of halts her progress, it's kind of disappointing. But yeah, overall the match itself was, I'd give it a medium. You know, I expect a lot out of these women, and you can call me like a mark or whatever the hell Randall calls all these people that expects them a lot and they just don't enjoy the product or whatever the fuck they say.
That's why he's in sensitivity training.
But like I do expect a lot because I know they are the best of the best, and that match didn't really, out of like every other storyline, kind of progressed heading towards the match on Saturday, and this one kind of didn't. I mean, we got Nyla pinning Sheeta, which makes you think, will Sheeta win on Saturday? But outside of that, like, what does it do for Statlander and Britt? It didn't really progress their story at all. But hopefully that match actually does happen, because if Britt's down, then I don't know what they do for Statlander either. So we'll see. It was a decent match. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't like a match that I was absolutely in love with either.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Next segment we get is a brand new segment featuring Sean Spears with SSN. Sean Spears News, I believe, was what it was called. And Spears was amazing. This man delivers promos like the best of them. And I'm talking about the best of them at any company. His heel work is fantastic as well. Basically, he was claiming that he didn't have a match at Double or Nothing. He was pretty pissed off about that. And then, basically it was like, what do I got to do to get a match on here? Challenge somebody, and then he challenged Dustin Rhodes to a match at Double or Nothing, basically saying he was going to retire him, whether Dustin Rhodes is retired, is going to retire Double or Nothing. He's going to be the one that does it. Brought up a bunch of like personal stuff, but good heel work. I appreciated that. So we're going to be getting Dustin versus Shawn Spears on the pay-per-view. Good. Love to see Shawn Spears wrestle. Dude is a underrated talent in wrestling today. Then that led to our main event of the night, which is Sammy Guevara versus Matt Hardy. Elite member versus Inner Circle member-ish. Pretty intriguing match. I thought their styles will kind of clash a little bit and maybe present an awkward match, but it wasn't too bad. Went about almost 15 minutes, which was good for them. Get a little time frame there. Hardy about killed Sammy with the twist of fate, but he connected with that, got the win. And then after that, all hell broke loose. Hardy, whether it was filmed live or not, I think it was. Maybe. Hardy got down to that field pretty damn quick. But I guess maybe the week prior or 2 weeks prior, you kind of figured out how to do that. With TIAA Bankfield being basically right connected beside with Daly's place. The Elite and the Inner Circle fought on the field, and it was so cool that they had the Inner Circle logo at the beginning of that segment up on the two big Trons, but they also had their logo spray painted in the end zones for the Elite and for the Inner Circle. And this is a great way to really bridge that gap through the sports world, because not only do the Cons own AEW, but they own the Jacksonville Jaguars, as well as a football club in England too. So I mean, you get the best of both worlds with sports and wrestling. That's why it's a sports-centric promotion. But you had Heyman Adam Page come back, who basically came out of a tunnel. I think he ran down to the other end zone, and then you saw just this blur running at full speed down the field. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And then all of a sudden you get closer and you realize it's that big drunk redneck. And he steamrolled past either Santana or Ortiz or both. And the Bucks came back. They jumped off the front row of the stands onto the field, onto the Inner Circle, which led, I do believe that Matt's now got a broken rib. Apparently that's the rumor as well. So a couple of injuries heading into Double or Nothing. I mean, these guys give them all on the line. Makes you think, why would you want to risk those limbs, those bodies before the pay-per-view? That's because they damn well can. They're doing it for entertainment. They're trying to build up the hype for the matches as well, especially when you haven't done much since COVID-19. It's hard. You just want to, go out there and do the best you can. But interesting end to the end of the show. Gets the build up for the match Saturday night between the Elite and the Inner Circle. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm excited for that match. The ring will be on the 50-yard line of TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, right beside Daly's place. Good end to the show. Good show overall, I thought. Good go-home show for sure.
Yeah. So I'll start where you kind of started this. Shawn Spears is, oh my goodness, he is fantastic. Still hoping he works with MJF as a tag team somewhere down the line.
Let's get it, man.
And then I think this is the best way. Like, you had to finish out your card, and kind of put a last minute match, make it feel like, oh, he actually is challenging Dustin. Like, this is going to happen. Just adds to the realness of AEW. One, because they give you the whole card. You know what the card is heading into, which will help your buy rate. It's not like WCW before they died, where they would give you like one match and then you wouldn't know what the rest of the card was. Or WWE nowadays, where they give you the card like 3 minutes before the pre-show. And so I like that they added another match to the card, kind of complete the whole thing. Get Shawn Spears, who has had a lot of TV time, get him inside the pay-per-view. He is one of the guys that I think they need to really give a heel push around and kind of build either I don't want to call it mid-card, but kind of that not really championship contender, build that around him, and then eventually get him up into that upper echelon when the time is right. Right now, the focus is on the Elite and the Inner Circle, and Moxley and the Dark Order, kind of that thing. But when the time is right, get Spears in the title picture. But as of now, he can work with these guys that are not necessarily in that consideration or in the top 5 of the AEW rankings, and maybe get him some momentum to bump him up into that level. And he has had a great 2020 so far, winning a lot of matches, whereas he kind of started off his AEW career losing a lot of matches. He's now winning a lot of matches, which I like to see. It gives me a lot of fantasy points. And then we go into the main event, and I thought Hardy and Guevara was a very good match. I wish Matt would have put Guevara's face through the mat when he hit that twist of fate. He did it like twice in a row too.
Yeah.
So Sammy, he's one of those guys that he'll take a bump, like a big bump. Like he got ran over by a golf cart.
Literally, he got ran over by a golf cart. His head bounced off the thing.
He will take a hit for storyline, and I like that. So when that dedicated to the craft, that he'll take a couple bumps and advance storyline that way, even if it's risking injury. And then we get down to the field there, the football stadium, and holy crap, there was a lot. There was rumors that we get the Bucks and Hangman back, and then we were like, it's the main event. Where the hell are they at? Like we haven't seen them, and we got them at the end there. The match ended, I think, at 9:55, and we had 5 minutes of absolute carnage, which is perfect. I love the way every go-home show ends in AEW. We saw it in the Charlotte show, where whatever your big story, everybody that's contending in that storyline gets their moment of fame for a second. If it's 10 seconds, or they just get to show what's going on. And so you get the Jacksons, they come back, and then you're like, well, where's Hangman? Like, where's Hangman? I believe you asked, well, where the hell is Hangman? And I said, just wait, they're gonna get beat up again. And he comes flying in, giving us the real definition of horsepower there. Coming in like 80 miles an hour, like. And I think I made a tweet to Tony Khan. I said, Tony, you need to sign this dude as a kick returner for the Jaguars. The dude has some speed. He's pretty quick. And I don't quite remember who he like clotheslined from hell. I thought it looked like he hit Hager, but it may have been one of the Proud and Powerful guys. I can't really remember who he hit. But he knocked them like 3 feet backwards. And then at the end there, where he kind of walks away from his group, it's like, oh yes, they're continuing this. Like he's kind of like he's going to help his buddies, but he's kind of like on the outside going in. It's like, what's going to happen with them? And we saw Kenny get the absolute crap beat out of him. So now that Hangman's back and Kenny's back, maybe they'll. I don't think they're on the Double or Nothing card, and they have that buy-in match for the number 1 contendership. So maybe on a Dynamite down the road, we'll get a tag team match going on, and we see if Kenny and Hangman can hold on to those tag team titles. That's something that I've missed, watching Hangman and Omega tag team together. Hopefully we get that soon. And even if they lose the belts and they continue the story where however they want to progress it, Adam Hangman's back, so we can celebrate that. He was one of the most over guys at the time that COVID happened. So kind of sucked that it kind of ended his run. But overall, Dynamite, I think your scale is thumbs down, thumbs middle, thumbs up, right?
Yep, you could use either one or both of your hands.
I gotta give it I'll do like 1.5.
That's where I was going to.
1.5. Yeah.
Not bad.
Because there were definitely good moments, fantastic moments where the storylines were really progressed, and then there were times when you're like, I don't know what this does for Saturday. And when you're the go home show, everything you do needs to point towards the pay-per-view. Get everybody ready to buy the pay-per-view. And there are several matches. The majority of the show did that. There were just a couple segments that I was like, I don't know what this does to help anybody. I'm excited because given the circumstances, AEW could have been like, we're not running a pay-per-view. We're just going to keep running Dynamites until COVID is done and we can have fans. But given the circumstances, the card that they put together is a card that I feel would sell out any arena. And the buy rate, I expect it to be pretty good. And I expect the matches to be really good. So I'm ecstatic for this card. I know several people that were going to go to this pay-per-view in person that are upset that they can't go, but they'll fucking get over it. And if this is anything like the Dynamite, I expect to see maybe people who aren't wrestling to interact in the crowd. You see Austin Gunn and his father be loud as hell like they always are. Maybe they'll get some of the crew members, family members in there to kind of give it that live atmosphere like they have been doing the past couple of weeks. And who knows, with Florida allowing sporting events up to, 25-50% capacity, I can't remember what it was, maybe they'll allow some people to sit sporadically around the arena to give it that feel of it being a live pay-per-view. Something I have been missing. As much as I love wrestling, you watch the WWE pay-per-views, the last two pay-per-views, and I don't know. Live is so much better to me than taped or no crowd or whatever, but you got to get what you get with this. At least they're putting out product. They're not like... I will give WWE that. They're still trying. Not successfully, but they're still trying. But no, I'm excited for Saturday and ready to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Saturday's going to be a good show. Like you said, I preferred seeing live over taped. So, besides maybe some pre-taped vignettes or promos, everything else is going to be live, I believe. I hope that the Stadium Stampede match is going to be live and not taped. I just think it's going to be a fun show overall. I understand with the whole pandemic going on that money may be tight. Most of y'all got a stimulus check or you make a lot of money. Don't waste it. So if you do, waste $50 to watch a pay-per-view, huh? Mm-hmm. It's going to be a fun show. I can't wait for it. It's going to be great. 8 o'clock Eastern Time is when it starts on BR Live, Fight TV internationally, as well as pay-per-view subscribers can order this pay-per-view as well. I threw out the poll on the old Twitter machine, and not going to plug the social medias at the moment, but I want to commend everybody on getting our social media page on Twitter over 500 followers. Thank you. At 510 as of this recording here. I appreciate you guys so much for doing that. I just hope you guys tune into the YouTube channel, even just for a couple minutes. Give me some feedback. You like it? You love it? You hate it? What didn't you like about it? What did you like about it? Subscribe to the channel if you can. Like the videos, share them. Anything like that to get us out there. I so appreciate you guys, and I appreciate your guys' efforts with the poll I threw up last night that ran into this morning. I had enough signal to do that, but of course, like I said, need internet signal to do a podcast. We didn't have it, but now we do. Threw it up on Twitter last night. It ended this morning. We got the most votes that I've ever had, probably combined on any of the polls I've ever done. Over 50 people took place in this poll, and I know it's a very small sample size, but for a small podcast like myself, it really means a lot that you guys are able to do that. Just take a second out to do that, so I appreciate you guys for doing that. Throughout the poll, what did you guys think of Dynamite last night? Like it? Love it? Didn't watch it? Watch NXT. 54% of you guys loved it. 33% of you liked it. So that means that over 80%, 87% of you guys overall, or 80, yeah. It's late at night. 87% of you guys overall positively enjoyed Dynamite. 2% of you didn't watch it, and 12% of you watched NXT. So appreciate you guys' honesty opinion about that, and I like the fact that you guys overall enjoy Dynamite for the most part there. So appreciate you guys for that. And we'll collect the social medias here at the very end. What we're going to do now, if you're up for it, do a Double Nothing prediction and preview show. I'm going to transition into this. But before we get to that, we're going to have to take a quick break. Kind of throw up a graphic of the Double or Nothing preview. And kind of go match by match. We're going to show the card as well. And kind of go match by match on what we think about that. Before we get to that, we have to at least send our thoughts and condolences and prayers out to Shad Gaspard and his family. Shad, as many of you people have already seen and heard, unfortunately had his life taken much too young at the age of 39, I believe. Him and his family were out swimming, something that we finally were able to do out in California with him and his family. They were getting swept out to sea, him and his son, and he flagged down the lifeguard to save his son while a big riptide came and basically swept him out to sea, and the police identified his body that got washed up ashore a couple days later, and unfortunately he did lose his life. But I think we can all agree he went out as a hero. To be able to have that bravery to basically take a bullet for your son, take a bullet for your family, and say, listen, save him. He's much more worthy than I am. I think any of us as parents would do that. I have a 4-year-old, so I know if it were between me and her, I would definitely want her to be safe over myself. So, definitely sad news this week. But at the same time, I think we can all be, sleep a little bit easier knowing that Shad did the right thing. Basically, it tells anything we ever, and there's been so many stories of wrestlers and people and wrestling personalities that have had such positive interactions with him. But I think the way that we can condole him as a man by him saving his kid pretty much determines the life of the man. So appreciate you, Shad, for all that you did in the wrestling business. I don't think one person has said anything bad about you, which goes on to say that you're one of the good guys in the business. Prayers out to your family and your friends that are going through this hard tragedy. I thought it was awesome for every wrestling promotion that either appeared Wednesday night or last night to be able to throw up a graphic for them and at least mention that tragedy and send out their condolences as well. So our condolences go out to you as well, to your family, to your friends through this hard time. Hope you guys will be able to get through it pretty quickly, but we understand, of course, that's a hard loss. But once again, it's hard to go through that, but at the same time, knowing that he did the ultimate thing by saving his child to risk his own, pretty much says everything about the man, pretty much. So we'll be right back, guys. We're going to throw up a graphic of Shad as we remember him, and then throw up the graphic for the Double or Nothing show as we come right back on Beyond the Curtain. All right, guys, welcome back. Now we're into the AEW Double or Nothing preview show. So, good transition there, right? I like how we kind of did that. Of course, Double or Nothing. This is going to be up Friday, so it means it will be tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central Time. Like I said, you can get it at your local pay-per-view subscribers. You can watch it on Fight TV internationally as well as BR Live in the States and I believe North America as a whole. So, just kind of going to set up the match here and give our predictions, our preview for this, and kind of go from there. If you guys watched our AEW Revolution preview, I don't think watched it. We were only on Anchor at the time and Spotify and just doing audio only. So if you guys heard our podcast on the AEW Revolution preview show, I gave my predictions. Mr. James gave his, as well as my fiance Haley. She gave hers as well. And we kind of wrote all that down. I have to go back into my notes and with all the move, of course, the notebook's kind of adjusting all that good stuff. But I know I kept it. I'm going to go back and we're going to look at the records and then gonna, as I see that, post those on the Twitter machine, and then after Double or Nothing, post our pay-per-view records for 2020 as of Sunday. So let's get into it, shall we?
I think let's go.
All right, we're gonna start with the pre-show, the buy-in pre-show. We've got Private Party versus Best Friends. This is a number one contendership match for the AEW Tag Team Championship. I don't believe they set a date for when that will happen. I'm assuming pretty soon on an episode of Dynamite. Just like they've announced next week on Wednesday, the first show after Double or Nothing, there is going to be a Battle Royal. And the winner of that match will be the number one contender for the TNT Championship for first title defense there on June the 9th, the Wednesday on Dynamite. So, buckle up, guys. We're going to be seeing a lot of title matches happening here kind of shortly. Not gonna be mad about that. But anyways, Private Party versus Best Friends. Private Party is coming in as of this past week. As of this recording, they have not yet released the rankings for this week, I don't believe. So we're going based off of last week's rankings. Private Party comes in at number 4. They came in at number 3 in the Tag Team Power Rankings. They were 4-1 in 2020. Best Friends come in as the number 1 ranked tag team in AEW. They've been on a roll in 2020. This is Private Party getting a good chance. Their opportunity to kind of climb back up in the tag team scene here. Best Friends are 7-3 in 2020. Like I said, they've been on a hot streak for sure in the tag team scene. I'm picking the Best Friends. Best Friends are on a hot roll. I think they're going to be kind of the next team to kind of elevate there with Orange Cassidy at their side. They kind of become a lot more over with the fans before the pandemic, and I think they've still kind of maintained that level of momentum and success. Haley has got Best Friends winning as well. Who do you got?
Well, first off, I'd like to just briefly say I like a pre-show match with stakes in it.
Amen to that.
It means something. It means you need
gotta
to watch it.
You gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it. I'm going Private Party. I think upset here.
Going a little different. I like it.
Private Party, if you haven't noticed, the past 2 weeks dominated their competition on AEW Dark. They're on a bit of a roll. I need some vodka cranberry.
24 ounces.
24 ounces.
24 ounces of vodka cranberry.
So Private Party.
I like it. Give me a little bit different. I like it. Appreciate it.
Gives me fantasy points, too, if they win.
That's a good point. The pre-show does start at 7:30. I do believe this will probably be the only match on the pre-show, which means they should get a good time, maybe 15 minutes, 16, 17. That'd be good. After that, we really don't know what the card is going to look like, except for I would imagine that the AEW World Championship match will be last. If not, it will be that Stadium Stampede match. So we're just kind of spitballing. We don't know the card exactly, so we're just going to go off of what we wrote down. Dustin Rhodes versus Shawn Spears. Of course, this match has only got a few days worth of built up to it where Shawn called out Dustin, as we just mentioned on the Dynamite recap. Dustin comes in at 7-4 in singles matches in 2020 with a record of that. Spears comes in at 5-7 in 2020. And even though he's got a decent amount of wins in 2020, still had a losing record. So got to bump that up here, Shawnee. Spears laid in it to Dustin on the Go Home episode of Dynamite. He's mad he didn't get a match. He's now got one. At Double or Nothing, he's challenging Dustin, and I've got Spears winning. Spears needs a win. He really needs a win.
He does.
I'm going with Spears on this one. Haley also got Spears as well. What about you?
First, I want to say, yes, Shawn Spears has a losing record. But if you take a look at his past 7 matches, 6 matches, 5-1, only loss coming to Kody in screwball fashion.
Exactly right.
I got Shawn Spears winning this. And I think this is kind of the point in time where we'll see what was supposed to happen at Double or Nothing last year with Dustin kind of slowing his roll and the on-camera, and he'll be more of a behind-the-scenes trainer type asset for AEW. But yeah, Shawn Spears gets a win. I think he needs it more. So,
absolutely, I agree with that. MJF versus Jungle Boy, kind of an intriguing matchup here. Rumor was that MJF was actually supposed to face Moxley, and probably with the whole pandemic happening, we only got vignettes and promos from MJF. We only got 1 week's worth of in-ring action, and him being live on Dynamite only 2 weeks, this week and this past week, past Wednesday. So, it is what it is. I think he'll get he's still a young guy, and he's going to be, a force to be reckoned with in AEW for a while to come. So, even if he didn't get his title match now, I'm sure he'll get one soon.
Right.
So Jungle Boy getting, I believe, his one of his first pay-per-view matches that are singles. Cool to see that with him. His tag team partner Luchasaurus is going to be in the Casino Battle Royal, the ladder match. Jungle Boy has only had one singles match in AEW.
Yeah.
One singles match. He's 0-1. But he is 7-5 overall. MJF is 4-0 in the singles competition, 6-0 in 2020. Interesting feud here. I've got MJF winning, stays undefeated, stays on that hot roll. Haley has got Jungle Boy, her boy, going over. Can't be different.
I gotta go with your fiance on this one.
I know gonna be some upset people.
I love MJF. I do. I think I praised him enough before the split here on the recap show. But like I said, you build up this heel to be super dominant just to have the face beat him. And why not? Jungle Boy is the perfect character to be like that David Goliath story. And why not build up MJF and his stupid injuries? Let's use that to continue a storyline. MJF gets hurt, let's just say, and loses, or he can't use the ring because his fingernail hurts, or he gets another hangnail or something. Jungle Boy gets a win. It's probably going to be in some kind of screwy fashion. It's either, I'll put it this way: if Jungle Boy wins in kind of a weird way, or MJF squashes the fuck out of Jungle Boy, it's going to go one way or the other. If the match is built to be longer, Jungle Boy gets to win.
We shall see. Kris Statlander versus Britt Baker. We don't know exactly as of this recording if that's going to happen. Watch as this video gets released. We're going to have to go back and edit it or something like that. But as of now, it's on. We shall see what's going to happen Saturday night. Britt got hurt on the Go Home Dynamite this past Wednesday, so the match may not happen. We'll see. Britt is 5-4 in 2020. Statlander is 4-5. Both need to win pretty badly here, I think, to kind of elevate themselves in the women's division. I didn't write this down for everybody. I apologize, but Britt is actually 2-1 on pay-per-views, and Statlander's 0-1. Of course, Statlander got her first taste of the pay-per-view scene in February at Revolution when she lost to Nyla Rose in the Women's Championship match. I think if the match does happen, it'll be a slower-paced match to help Britt out. In the end, I do think that Kris Statlander does get the win over this, and Haley did pick Statlander as well. What about you, sir?
This is a match where I like both contenders, and I was being selfish with my decision here and saying, what gets me the most fantasy points? And so I go, and granted, this match may not happen now. We don't know. But Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, gets the win. Maybe gets some help from Reba or Rebel, her makeup artist.
Sure. Even though Rebel, I don't think, likes her.
Well,
just saying.
We'll see.
Britt had a lot of glitter on her makeup this past Wednesday. Maybe Rebel had something to do with that. Go down to the Casino Battle Royal ladder match. Winner of this gets a future shot at the All Elite Wrestling World title. They didn't announce a date for that. Maybe it'll be in an episode of Dynamite. I doubt they'll wait till all the way to August for All Out. But either way, the winner of this does get an AEW World Championship match should they win. Participants, we've got Darby Allin, Kip Sabian, Scorpio Sky, Frankie Kazarian, Luchasaurus, Colt Cabana, Boom Boom, Orange Cassidy, Rey Fenix, and a mystery opponent to be announced.
Sting.
It's not Sting. between him and my fiance, they have been pestering me for weeks since the speculation has been out that Sting apparently is no longer with WWE. He got his action figure pulled from the newest line from Mattel. Mentioned Archer in a tweet, and Kody liked it and then put the eyeballs on it. And Archer had said, who would he like to face past the president? He picked Sting, and then Sting said, congratulations on your success in AEW. And then Kody retweeted it. Listen, dude is my favorite wrestler of all time. Sting appeared in WWE, AEW, anywhere, I'd mark out like a freak.
I'm going to record
and
it.
I know you're going to say that. I said, now, as soon as they say, the 8 people come out and they're getting ready to announce the 9th person, you're going to record it. And when it's not Sting, you're going to feel pretty bad about that. But I've already vowed that if it was Sting, I'd scream like a girl because I'd mark out. That's my favorite dude of all time. Yeah, 24-year-old marking out over his favorite wrestler. Totally not embarrassing, but I'm a man of my word. I'll admit it. I think it's either going to be Brian Cage or EC3, in my opinion. Not Sting. But anyways, could be someone else. This is definitely going to be a spot fest, but I think it's going to be an awesome, great match. Darby Allin is going to die.
Several times.
But he may come back to life and win the match. And I've actually got him winning the match. Darby Allin wins. Haley has got Darby Allin winning as well.
When I saw this match, I kind of went a different direction. And so you take a look at the Casino ladder match last year at Double or Nothing.
It was a battle royal.
At the
same concept, though.
Where Hangman won. So they're trying to push the next babyface single star in this match. And who else better than who I think is going to win? Scorpio Sky. He got himself over with that whole title opportunity. And then a couple weeks ago, they started running like vignettes about his entire life's backstory and all of that. So it goes full circle. He enters this match. I think I know his teammate in SCU, Frankie's in the match as well. So wonder what kind of plan they'll have there. I just feel like they're going to give Scorpio that singles push now that CD and Kaz are now able to fight, and they'll be the tag team in that group. So Scorpio, in my opinion, as much as Darby deserves a future title shot, he's already had a title shot against Jericho and lost. And I just feel like you can do a lot more with Scorpio. And as far as that mystery opponent, if it isn't Sting, I believe they'll go the safe route and have someone like Adam Page just come in, someone that, because everybody's thinking big new debut, but how much of a swerve would it be if like Adam Page or Omega or somebody that isn't
it's already established in the company. That would be interesting. That would be interesting.
Who isn't on the card jumps in, and I know you would think Omega and Page are in the Inner Circle match, but they haven't decided who is fighting who, what are members of the Elite, because Matt Hardy's there, so
I think it's a 5-on-5.
Right.
But
so it'll be like the two Bucks. Omega, Kody, which it might not be Kody because he fights Archer later on. So who knows? I think personally, Sting, but if not, I think they'll go a safe route and they'll do, or like it'll be some gimmicky guy like Michael Nakazawa that comes out. But would I be happy if Brian Cage showed up? Yes. He kind of denied that he was going there, but he's been injured for the longest of times. That who knows? But yeah, no, Sting. Definitely Sting.
To play devil's advocate, I know you mentioned about Darby already having his title shot. Scorpio Sky did have his own too, so that was what I was kind of looking at too. Is like who would be a credible, who would be somebody that we could see. I could see Luchasaurus winning it. He was over with the crowd, plenty of times last year. He can get that push. Scorpio Sky as well. Frankie Kazarian could do that. When he had that match against Moxley, he showed how great of a singles wrestler he still is and can compete with anybody, including the world champion. Darby could win it. If they wanted to go the heel route, I could see Kip Sabian with some help, from Jimmy Havoc or with, Penelope Ford interfering with it. And I think it would just be, there's a lot of possible ways this can go, and I could see just about anybody win this match. Besides maybe Cole Cabana, I don't really see him winning it. Orange Cassidy can provide something funny, and we'll probably have a spot where he's that close to winning it, but
dies.
Overall, I think it's gonna be a great match. So.
Right, and it wouldn't shock me though if whoever this mystery opponent is, if they kind of have like WrestleMania 33 Hardy Bros vibes and they get the win, but it depends on who it is. If it's Sting, no. I don't think Sting wins. If it's a new, fresh debut, it wouldn't shock me if they went that route. But yeah, I think Scorpio goes. But if they go the heel route, they could make some big money off of Kip Sabian in the future. But no, I have a pretty safe bet. It's gonna be Scorpio.
I just thought of this. You know who has kind of been in the wrestling ring before? Who's going to be there Saturday?
Mike Tyson.
What if Mike Tyson showed up in actually the Mystery Fighters? That'd be interesting. I doubt it, but it'd be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be.
Either way, we're going to find out Saturday night. It's going to be fun.
Could be Jake the Snake.
I hope not, but hey, it could happen. Bret Hart, who knows? He made an appearance in AEW last year, Double or Nothing. Maybe that's his gimmick every year is having an appearance at Double or Nothing. Either way, like I said, I think it's going to be a fun match. Probably going to be one of the matches of the night. Next match we're going to cover is Hikaru Shida versus Nyla Rose for the AEW Women's World Championship. The Revolution match between Statlander and Nyla for the Women's World title disappointed me a little bit. I don't think this will disappoint me very much. Shida has been the number one ranked woman since basically January, since the beginning of the new year. I mean, she has been the number one ranked woman the entire time.
Yeah.
Long deserved title shot. I'm glad she's getting it. Nyla hasn't been on Dynamite as much due to the COVID pandemic, but has appeared in the last few weeks. But this would be a good way to reignite her title reign, I believe. Shida in 2020, 10-2.
Oh man.
10-2. On pay-per-views, she is 1-1. Nyla in 2020 is 6-1, so a good record on her own end. Pay-per-view matches, she is 2-1, and has already had one title defense on pay-per-view match with Kris Statlander, and just mentioned at Revolution in February. My mind kind of wants Shida to win, but at the same time, Nyla's just too strong, so I think that Nyla does win and retains the Women's World Championship.
Yeah, I went. This might have been one of the hardest matches for me to make a decision on. I went back and forth on it because part of me is like, all right, Nyla pinned Shida Wednesday, so it's just going to be the typical like heel gets the momentum, face going to win at the pay-per-view. But I took the logical route and I said, Nyla, there's no way. She has all the momentum in the world on her side, and as much as Shida has had a very successful 2020, I feel like Nyla she's too much of a beast at this point. I don't know who can beat her like in this match in a one-on-one environment. Shida has pinned Nyla before, but I believe that was a triple threat match. So it's going to be a good match. I don't think it'll be super disappointing of a match, but Nyla is just a freak and will continue to be the AEW Women's Champion, leaving Daly's place that night. Now it's tomorrow night because we're recording into the early part of Friday morning.
Sacrificial people, that's how we do it. Took a coffee shot just so I can do this Double or Nothing preview, and I'm all hyped up now.
And Nyla Rose gets the W there.
Yeah. And Haley also picked... actually, she picked Sheeta to win this match, so... But interesting. She's picking Sheeta to defeat Nyla Rose and become the next Women's World Champion. Next match we're going to cover is Kody versus Lance Archer for the TNT Championship. This is the finals of the tournament that started a few weeks back. And this will be crowning the inaugural TNT Champion. Archer 5-0 in AEW since he's debuted. Kody in 2020 is 10-3. So bear with me here as we gotta charge the computer real quick. Follow me. We're gonna have the same headset here, so that's why we're kind of looking gay, but we're not gay. Yeah. So well, I should have done this earlier, but hey, you know what? Sometimes these things happen. So.
The beauty of life.
The beauty of life, and we could pause it, but you know what? That'd be just too easy. And this only takes a few seconds to do. Just gotta plug it on in. If I can find the hole. Don't tell my fiance that.
Oh, we gotta edit this out.
Nah.
Oh man.
Just hold on one brief second.
He gonna take his mic out. Yeah, I'll stall for time here for you. I'll be JR during. Never mind. Yeah, Kody versus Archer. Let me read your notes. Oh, you're back. Never mind.
Nobody reads my notes except me. Sorry.
He has all the notes. I didn't prepare for this.
That's okay. That's what I'm here for. I'm the play-by-play. You're my color. You're the Taz to my Michael Cole, and that's not a compliment to Michael Cole. Anyways, I love Taz. So. Finals of the tournament, the rivalry culminating ever since Archer and Jake kind of debuted in AEW. They were going after Caesar, which they labeled as Cody Rhodes. So they're finally getting their match. I think we both feel a little too soon for this, but it is what it is. Of course, Jake is going to be at Archer's ringside corner. Arn and Brain are going to be in Cody's. They're going to have to interfere in some capacity, we think, right? How are they going to interfere? We shall see.
Right.
Kody is 2-2 on pay-per-views. Archer, this is his debut on pay-per-view. Kody has lost his last 2 pay-per-view matches, so take that into effect. My heart, my brain says Archer. My gut says Kody. I'm not a Kody fan. I'm really, really not. I don't know what it is about him. I don't want to say he's got that Cena vibe to me, but man, it's just something about him. I appreciate his in-ring work. I'm not saying he's not a bad wrestler. He is a very solid, dependable wrestler. I don't know if it's his gimmick, if it's his character. Something about it just irks me. Maybe possibly the way he's won in these tournament matches has got me feeling that way. I don't know, but
I think I can sum it up for you. Maybe you can say he's so much of a lovable babyface that you hate him.
That's a good point. Because I mean, honestly, if you looked at it a year ago, I would have guessed Kody was a heel because of the way he did Dustin. And then at the very end of that match, he kind of turned face because he was asking his brother to partner with them at Fight for the Fallen.
Right.
But yeah, we didn't know if he was going to turn on his brother. But he basically went from a heel to a face in the same match.
Right. Big Show style.
Literally. I'm going with Archer. Winning on this. Cody's going to lose his last 3 pay-per-view matches. Going with Archer to win the first ever TNT Championship.
I agree. I'm going Archer and I actually had a different, I think, thought process than you may have had. At this point, sorry, Kody.
Drowning for a second.
Kody, Archer. If Archer loses, that kind of diminishes all momentum. He's undefeated, I believe, at this point. And he's built to be the Murder Hawk. Kody has lost. He has shown that he can lose matches. I think with Archer, if he loses, there's really no way to build him back up to what he was. With Kody, they have already announced that they have a Battle Royal next Dynamite, so Kody can just go ahead and join that in and maybe, possibly have a rematch with Archer if he wins that Battle Royal. So there's a way that it's easier to believe Kody is in the top echelon of wrestlers but can't beat Lance Archer because Lance Archer is a monster. than it is to believe Kody can beat Archer, but Archer is somehow still a monster. And that's the thought process I took when I chose Lance Archer. I actually like Kody. I think he's one of the best in-ring workers that this AEW has seen, but also pro wrestling has seen in the past couple of years. His promo ability for a face is kind of he's kind of like the MJF of face promos, but they kind of get to the point that you kind of are like, these are kind of cheesy, like heel saying or face sayings. I don't know. This match, it can go either way, but in my mind, it makes more logical sense to have Archer win than Kody. And the only thing I ask is I need to see a spine buster. Please. I wasn't around to see Arn spinebuster anybody ever. I need to see it happen.
You know, I hate to be the guy that calls you out. You've seen one. You've seen one. We went to Starrcade.
Oh my goodness, yes.
A couple years ago when they had it in Greensboro, which it should have never left Greensboro. And it should have been on the network. But anyways, when Arn came out and spinebuster Dolph Ziggler.
That did happen.
We did see
that. That did happen, okay.
And that was fantastic. But it's been about 4 years.
Yes.
So I need to see it again.
Yes.
And we were kind of on the floor beside the ramp, so I mean it was an okay view. But seeing it on TV would have been
we kind of had the view of whoever the cameraman was when Edge returned and speared Dolph Ziggler.
Basically, yes, basically. But yes, we need to see it up.
So I will recant my statement.
That's okay. I still listen. I remember that spine buster just because it was so awesome of a moment. That's the only reason I really remember it, and because it was on Dolph Ziggler, and I hate Dolph Ziggler.
Yes.
But
sorry, Randall.
How's sensitivity training going, bud? Did you like that one? But yeah. So Haley's got Kody winning. So I mean, I like the fact that some of us are still going, against the grain and not doing that. So I appreciate that. You know what? We'll cover the AEW World Title match next. We'll leave the Elite Inner Circle match for the very end. Moxley versus Brody Lee for the AEW World Championship. And for those of you watching the pay-per-view, you're going to see Brody Lee come out with the AEW title, and he's not the title holder.
Yes, he's
in possession of the title. Possession is 9/10 of the law. He stole Jon Moxley's championship, but Moxley is going into Double or Nothing as the champion. An intriguing feud for the world title. They kind of had about 3 to 4 weeks to build this up. It was interesting. Mox is 10-0 in single matches, 10-1 in 2020 overall. Brody Lee is 5-0 in AEW since his debut, and he is making his pay-per-view debut, while Moxley is 2-0 in pay-per-view matches. It's gonna be a downright physical match. It's gonna be a match that's gonna be a lot of fists, a lot of kicks, a lot of punches. It's gonna be interesting. I got Moxley winning and retaining.
This is oh my goodness. When I made my decision on this, I kind of made it pretty quickly. I'm looking real quick. Is this okay? It's just a standard singles match.
I don't believe it's I believe it's not a no DQ match.
Right.
It's a standard match.
So
that doesn't mean they won't relax the rules.
Right. I think Moxley retains. So I'm gonna have him be the winner, but I have a feeling like there's no way you can have either of these guys lose clean. They're Moxley's undefeated in 2020. Brody Lee is. There's no way to. I mean, I guess Moxley is a top echelon. He's the champion, so it kind of makes sense to have him lose to Moxley. I have a feeling though that there will be some retribution for the arm breaking of number 10. And
number 11 debuts?
Sting. Just kidding.
He'll debut in 2 different matches.
But I think we'll see maybe Stu Grayson, Evil Uno come back. You can pick up your boys too. And all the creepy crawler guys come out and beat the shit out of Moxley for Mr. Brody Lee, kind of like that David Koresh esque. Like you're gonna sacrifice yourself for the Messiah.
Be careful how you say that, because people are gonna look at this video and say that you got David Caruso's glasses. Be careful. Just saying.
Follow me.
He is not a Branch Davidian.
No, I'm not.
He is. No, I'm just kidding.
But no, I think Moxley retains. I think he gets the win. But I the only logical sense for me to have this is some sort of DQ screwy finish at the end, in which I think you can draw it out and have Moxley like beat the shit out of the what do they call him now? I don't even remember what they call him. They changed the names of that.
Maybe just followers. I have no idea what they call them.
At that point, Moxley beats him up, and then maybe Brody steals the title away again or something, and they can continue this out for a little bit longer if they want to. Regardless of how it ends, Moxley gets the W.
Before we move on to our main event, at least what we have here on paper, I'm not saying it will be the main event, but on paper we haven't covered this match, so technically it was for us. By the way, Haley has got Moxley winning as well, so we've all three got Moxley retaining. Question.
Yes.
What are the chances that Lance Archer and Brody Lee, who walked into AEW Double or Nothing this Saturday, debuting at the same time, being undefeated, what are the chances that they both walk out undefeated?
Both of them at the same time? I don't think so.
I think so too. I don't think they're both gonna walk out undefeated. However, the chances of them losing to me are unfortunately high. Now, 50-50 because they're both in singles matches. I get it, but there's a lot more chance of them both losing. Yeah. And I think that would not be good for both of them to lose. Right. I think you need to have one of them still be that kind of undefeated. Right. Exactly. Whether if it's a screw finish for Moxley and Brody Lee, who knows? That's the one thing that I think they kind of not messed up on, but you got two undefeated guys that have got a lot of momentum that if they take a loss on a pay-per-view, it's not going to look horrible, but it's just going to really backtrack. It's going to let off some steam of their momentum that I don't think they should really need to back off. Now, like you said, with Brody Lee, he's in a little bit better of a position because there's a way you can get out of that without totally losing momentum, especially in a group like the Dark Order. Archer, on the other hand, nothing is really, there's going to be a winner. There has to be a winner because it's a inaugural championship match. So he doesn't have a team to fall back on. He is his own man. He's got Jake with him. So, he's got a little bit more to lose, should he lose, than I think Brody Lee does. So we shall see what happens Saturday night.
Right, yeah.
So that gets us to the final match that we have not yet covered. The Elite, which as of this recording, Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, Matt Hardy, Damascus, and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, versus the Inner Circle, Jericho, Guevara, Hager, and Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz, in a Stadium Stampede match. The only thing we really know about this match is that it's going to take place in TIAA Bank Field at the 50-yard line is where the ring will be set up. After that, the stadium is open to anywhere they want to go. Pinfalls count anywhere. No disqualification. So think of it as a big cage match. Just with a lot of room. Like, they can go into the press boxes. They can go to the very top of the stadium if they wanted to.
They can go
concourse.
They can go to that swimming pool.
Swimming pool. That's a good point. If it'll be even filled.
It'll be filled.
This would be a great opportunity to let people in to watch that. Yeah. I'll have people coming to watch, Double or Nothing on the screen because they have probably the biggest screens in the NFL, and then, put it to 25 or 20% capacity if they wanted to, and have people spread out and watch at least that match. But at the same time, if you're going to have them, which I know they're going to have them up in the seats, probably not going to want to have that for social distancing. So you can't really control that much unless you put a curtain around there, and that's going to pretty much ruin the whole thing. But anyways, it's a long time feud that culminates at this. Like I said, pinfalls count anywhere. Matt Hardy joins the Elite as a favor to the Young Bucks. On a BTE episode, the Bucks helped him out, so he's helping them out. That's why he's in the Elite. Hangman is still teasing that he's going to leave the Elite. We saw at the end of Dynamite this past Wednesday. 4 out of the 5 team members, the Young Bucks, Omega, and Hardy were standing there as their logo was appearing on the big screen. And Hangman was walking away completely from the group. First of all, before we get to that, it's going to be super freaking cool to see the Elite and the Inner Circle painted at the end zones.
Yes.
As a sports fan, this is a dream come true to have Tony Khan as the owner of both the Jaguars and the AEW. Like, this is awesome.
Right.
Some people be like, yeah, you're a mark. That's just stupid. Fuck you. Sorry. Just had to get it out. Yeah, I just... This tease has been teased for a long time. Well, whether it happens at Double or Nothing, it could. We thought it was going to happen at Revolution, and it didn't. But it's still there. Apparently Matt Jackson has an injury to his ribs, whether they're broken or not. I mean, people are coming in here pretty banged up over one night. That's okay. But I have got, winning this match, the Inner Circle. With help.
From?
I'll get to that in a second. I just think this sets up one more match between the teams, maybe Blood and Guts.
Blood and Guts.
I think it's going to have to do that, and that's where the Elite will get their win at Blood and Guts. But I think that either we're going to have another member of the Inner Circle, new debuting superstar, come and help him out, EC3 or Brian Cage, or Hangman Page turns and helps the Inner Circle. I don't know if he joins him,
but he helps.
But he helps them, and that's the important thing here.
Would you ever consider Matt Hardy?
I could see Matt Hardy turning. I don't know if he would necessarily join the Inner Circle because he's such a loose commodity character. You really can't trust him. But it would not surprise me if he did.
Right.
But I think more so Hangman than Hardy.
Okay.
Haley's got the Elite winning. What about you?
You see that screen right there, right? What's it say?
The
Elite.
Elite.
I have the Elite.
The Elite.
The Elite. With help. Just
so
kidding.
We both have help.
Just kidding. No. If they do have help, let me just poke the bear one more time. If there was help, what was Chris Jericho carrying this past couple weeks? A nice shiny baseball bat with nice leather jacket on. You know, he dresses up like the Pain Maker. Black and white face paint. Who does that resemble? Black and white face paint. Baseball bat. I mean, yeah, Gene Simmons, but no.
The Demon.
The Stanger. Helps him out there. If he isn't the mystery opponent, come on now, give us Stanger. Give us the Stanger.
As a diehard fan of this man, you would think that I'd be all over this idea, and I'm not. And I'm not saying that I don't think seeing AEW would not be cool. I just don't see it happening. Once again, if it happens, I'll scream like a girl. Putting my mark on the line right now, I'm doing it.
Did you see it happening in WWE?
There was a lot of rumors that it was going to happen, and then they had the 2K16 game. No, 2K15.
15, yeah. One of those.
2K15 game come out and had him in the pre-order. So it basically made the idea happen that was going to happen. Didn't know when. And then they debuted at Survivor Series 14. And, well, I was in shock. And I loved it.
He marked out like a 5-year-old.
I may or may not have. I'm not going to lie.
There's no proof, so...
There is no proof, which is great. I was in college at the time. Well, I'm still in college. But I was at Coastal Carolina. Two of my friends were there. Shut up. Two of my friends were there, and they basically marked that with me, which is pretty cool.
It's been 8 years, sir.
Since what?
Oh, 6 years.
I'm about to say, been a long time since then.
No, but the Elite. And I honestly don't think there's any help involved here. Even if Hangman, I don't think Hangman turns until the end. And you set it up, Hangman leaves, goes to the concourse, gets him a nice cold brew from somebody that they let sell beer. And then he comes back and the match is over, and I don't know, Kenny wins or one of the other guys wins, and I can't remember who he was kind of like teasing a feud with in the Young Bucks. Was it Matt? Whoever he flipped off.
Yes.
He gets pissed off or whatnot at Hangman for leaving the team, and they had to fight, but whatever. That's when I think would be the best time for him to turn. I don't think him turning in the match really does anything. Or him getting turned on by the Young Bucks or somebody. Because Hangman, I don't see him really working as a heel. Obviously, he hasn't really done it, but it makes more logical sense to have the Young Bucks and Omega kind of be that heel group, and Hangman still stay as a solid face. Regardless, however this ends, I think the Elite will be shown in that large Titantron video monitor that they have that covers like my room times 3. Yeah, it's a big monitor, and it'll say the Elite at the end of the night.
Interesting. It's going to be a fun show, and we will make sure we record these as we go through them. We're going to be both trying to live tweet the whole pay-per-view. You're going to have a little bit of a viewing party since we are opening up to Phase 2 here in North Carolina, so we can have indoor gatherings up to 10 indoor and 25 outdoor. So, and haircut places will be open again. Thank God, because I was about to go to South Carolina to get a haircut.
Same here.
Oh boy, it has been a long couple months for this hair. So it's going to be, I don't care if I have to wait 5 hours on Saturday or Sunday. Not Saturday. Sunday, I don't mind if I have to wait 5 hours. I need a haircut badly. So it's going to be a fun show Saturday night. We're both going to be tweeting as the show goes on. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Remember, 8 o'clock Eastern is the start of the pay-per-view. Pre-show starts at 7:30. Fight TV internationally, BR Live in North America, and as well as your local pay-per-view distributors. So be sure to order, guys. You know, these guys aren't, they're getting paid, but I mean, you know, they're not getting live ticket revenues, anything like that. No live gate. So support them by getting the pay-per-view. Also get some t-shirt, new merchandise. If you guys are still needing face masks, they were selling face masks on AEWshop.com. But as of this recording, while we get to the social media platforms, we both have a Pro Wrestling Tees store. ProWrestlingTees.com/Beyond the Curtain Wrestling Podcast. For this man over here, it's ProWrestlingTees.com/Takin the Bump Podcast, or T the B Podcast.
T the B Podcast, yes.
And I believe we've got a promotion going on. Both of us got a promotion going on. Do you mind telling me about that? What's the promotion?
All Pro Wrestling Tees stores.
All. Not just ours.
It actually started at noon.
Thursday
the 21st.
May the 21st. Runs until?
It runs until
Monday at noon.
Monday at noon Central Time, so 1 o'clock Eastern Time.
Till May 25th.
May 25th.
1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central.
Use the promo code MEMORIAL. MEM, not Main Event Mafia. MEMORIAL. 20%.
Big fat 20. 20% off.
20%
off.
20% off of your entire order.
Any shirt.
So buy my shirt.
Any store.
His shirt.
My shirt.
Every shirt.
His shirt.
AEW shirts.
Any shirt.
New Japan shirts.
Any shirt.
Matt Cardona shirt.
What he said. ProWrestlingTees.com. That's where you can get any of your merchandise from AEW, New Japan, a bunch of independent wrestlers. Owen Hart actually has got a couple of shirts on there for the Owen Hart Foundation after his episode just aired off of Dark Side of the Ring, which is an awesome episode, by the way. Congratulations to the team at Vice for getting through season 2. Hopefully there's going to be a season 3 because that was still a hell of a series. Anyways, ProWrestlingTees.com. 20% off until Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central. Memorial. 20% off any order. Social medias. I guess we should get to that next, right?
Yes, sir.
For those of you that are following on the YouTube channel, thank you. Continue to subscribe, like the videos, share the videos, get the word out, subscribe so you can turn on that notification bell so that way you can see anytime we post a brand new episode. Comment as well so you know what we are doing. If you don't like it, why you liked it, why you didn't like it, let us know. I can take criticism, I can take lovely things and hateful things. I love bashful and I love compliments. Follow us on Facebook, Beyond the Curtain Podcast on Facebook. And at Twitter, you folks have done a great job with following over 500 followers. Thank you ever so kindly. But on Twitter, at BtheC Pod 18. Sir, what about your channels?
YouTube page. Let's get that subscriber count going on. Go to Takin the Bump Podcast on YouTube. You can go to facebook.com/TheB Podcast or go to Twitter at TheB Podcast. Almost at 200 followers on Twitter. Trying to beat this guy. I don't know if it's going to happen, but hey,
listen, guys, I'm not in a competition for followers. If you follow my Twitter, follow his.
Yeah, it's really fun. We keep you up to date on all news, so sensitivity training wise on every page. So you need to stay up to date with that.
So sad for Randall, he won't be able to live tweet during the show.
Oh, so sad.
That's a shame.
So sad.
Wait, he covers NXT, right?
Yeah.
When is his suspension in? June 15th?
June 15th.
He's gonna miss Takeover.
In your house. Oh.
That hurts.
That sucks.
That's what happens when you piss off the internet. Don't do it.
Yeah. So at TheB Podcast, you can basically find me everywhere with that phrase right there. Also, when I do live tweets, I'm starting a hashtag. Yes, yeah, I'm starting a hashtag. Hashtag TTB_live. TTTB_live. That'll be my hashtag I use. You can follow my discussion and join in the discussion when I live tweet. Whatever the hell I live tweet. So, yes, hashtag TTBP_live.
You know what? That's insane that you said that. Because I've got a hashtag as well.
What's the hashtag, pal?
And I didn't steal it. Because I had a feeling you were going to do it. I'm like, you know what? I can't let him outdo me on my show. Not on this channel, buddy. So during Saturday night, starting at 7:30, on the pre-show, on the buy-in of Double or Nothing, presented by All Elite Wrestling. To follow along and join the discussion as we live tweet. You can use the hashtag BtheC Pod Live. LIVE. B as in boy, T as in Tom, C as in cat. Pod. P as in Paul, O as in Odom, D as in Derek. Live. LIVE. Hashtag BTC Pod Live. Join the discussion while we live tweet through Double or Nothing.
Yes, sir.
Other than that, I think it about wraps it up, guys. I think it wraps it up.
This would be about a 2-hour podcast.
It's going to be a little bit long of a podcast, but hey, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it, guys. So, watch Double or Nothing. It's going to be fun. Live tweet with us as we do it all throughout Double or Nothing. It's going to be a fun show. Can't wait to see what's going to happen. And, yeah. So, with that being said, appreciate my man over here, James, joining me.
Sir.
At Takin the Bump Podcast. We appreciate you guys listening, watching, whatever you're doing. Keep it up. Hope you guys are staying safe and staying healthy throughout this whole pandemic. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. So stay the course. We'll get there eventually. social distance when necessary. Wear those face masks. Continue to be safe, be happy, be healthy. Appreciate you guys out there. And we will see you next week.
Yes, sir.
As we go beyond the curtain.